single day.
New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Toyota. Deer Spring, Toyota's adrenaline-pumping lineup is ready for you. Toyota, let's go places. By Prevagen. By Spectrum, it's internet, mobile, and streaming TV, all from one place. And by the New York Lottery, you could win a grand prize of $40,000 with the Swing for the Fences promotion. Enter with the New York Lottery app today. May the Force be with you on May the 14th for Star Wars Day at Citi Field. Purchase through the special event ticket offer and get a Nolan McClain Star Wars bobblehead. Go to Mets.com/Star Wars for details. Your Audi game-changing drive last night wasn't a whole lot much of a drive, but it got the job done. Ground ball under the glove of Jorby Dibas, and that brought home 2 runs to make it a 3-0 game, what turned out to be an 8-0 Mets win. Sometimes you got to take what the opposition gives you. David Peterson getting ready to make his first start in a couple of weeks. His first pitch is coming right up. What better matchup for the Mets than David Peterson against the Nationals? He's had career-long success against Washington, never better than last year when he threw his only complete game shutout against the Nats here at Citi Field. After all working that day against the Nats. They had 2 starts against Washington last year at a 0.53 ERA. There's Peterson's numbers from that complete game shutout. 106 pitches, 6 strikeouts, no walks. Nationals will put every available right-handed bat in the lineup, but that still leaves 3 lefties for Peterson to face, including their 2 best hitters, James Wood and C.J. Abrams. Mets took the opening game of the series last night. Peterson gets the ball today. James Wood settling in to lead off.
And here's David Peterson, 6 games started, back in the rotation since the last start in L.A. And just missed a strike 1.
Wood takes his first fastball for ball 1, and we're underway. Wood 0 for 3 last night. He's having a great start to his year. Tied for the National League lead in home runs. Leads the league in walks. Second in runs scored. But hitting just .211 against lefties so far this year. And Peterson gets his slider in for a strike. It's 2-1. So far this year, his slider has been unhittable. Everything else has been hittable, like that, right underneath the glove of Beatty and into right field. A leadoff hit for James Wood.
Yeah, here's Brett Beatty diving for this bullet hit by James Wood. James Wood got a fastball right in the middle at 92 from David Peterson. Was able to hook it into right field to get the Nats going.
So a leadoff base runner for Washington. And now Curtis Mead playing first base tonight. Mead was acquired on opening day from the White Sox for a minor leaguer. Young Australian who started out in the Phillies organization. He was involved in a very important trade, as it turned out, for the Phillies. They traded Curtis Mead to Tampa Bay to get Christopher Sanchez, who turned into one of the best left-handers in baseball.
I didn't know that's how Sanchez ended up in Philly.
And Mead went to the White Sox last year for Adrian Hauser, and now he's a Nat. Right-handed part of their first base platoon, and he takes a fastball for a strike, 2-1.
You can see that Mead has a direct protect, one of those thumb guards. I think it's to help not have your hand rattle so much should you happen to get jammed or catch it off the end of the bat.
And Mead lines one into right field. That's a base hit. Played on a hop by Bench. Wood goes first to third. And the Nationals have an instant threat, first and third and nobody out.
Yeah, here's Meade with a fastball up and out over the plate, drives it into right center for a single, and James Wood's able to go first and third. You can see Carson Bench hunting this ball down, hoping he's got a chance to throw him out at third base. Was unable to, but James Wood can see that he can get to first and third pretty easily. Yeah, here's the pitch. Fastball leaking out over the plate, up, out over the zone, and a good piece of hitting by Meade.
So first and third, nobody out. Now Brady House, the number 3 hitter. And so the infield back at double play depth. And Peterson gets the curveball over for a strike, 0-1. House has feasted on lefties so far this year, 367 against left-handers. DH'd last night. He's playing third base tonight. Peterson last year was impeccable in first innings. That has not been the case this year. That's a good changeup to get ahead 0-2.
Yeah, you'd like to see him take a chance or two right here for the strikeout, but most of all, limit the damage as best you can with this first and third pinch that he's in the first inning.
C.J. Abrams, left-hand hitter on deck. House was 0 for 4 last night. And Peterson got him out on the half swing. Dropped a curveball on him, and House is retired for the first out of the night.
Here's your Mets Genesis defense. Tyrone Taylor gets the start in center field. Carson Bench moves from left to right field tonight as Brett Beatty's playing first base.
So now first and third and 1 out. Here's C.J. Abrams. Abrams, whose season got off to a great start, just 3 for his last 35. Tough guy to double up. Mets play halfway at second and short. And Abrams fouls it off, 0-1.
Yeah, good observation, Gary. Marcus Semien has played just beyond the running lane for first to second. It's for a ground ball that gives you the opportunity whether or not you want to go home, or you could choose to do a double play of 4-6-3 if it's hit right at Marcus.
What helps you in that regard is that Peterson is so good at holding runners. Meade is getting an infinitesimal lead at first base.
Yeah, Marcus won't have to worry about it coming together if he does get a ground ball, since he's basically almost in the batter's running lane right now.
Well, Peterson, after giving up 2 hits, has thrown 5 straight strikes. Ahead on Abrams 0-2. Hit on the ground through the hole into right field, a base hit, and that'll bring in Wood with the game's first run. Meade going first to third, the throw by Bench, too late. Bench showing off his cannon from right field, but Meade able to get there safely. Abrams with a 2-strike hit to drive in a run, and it's 1-0 Washington.
Yeah, here's the base hit from the 3-4 hole. I think David Peterson would have liked to get a better pitch with 2 strikes to try to strike him out or get a little bit weaker contact, but Abrams is able to hook it through the 3-4 hole. And the Nats have come out very aggressive going first and third here in the first inning. It's a good throw by Carson Bench. Throws it through the cutoff man, which keeps the runner Abrams at first base and keep the double play in order.
Now Jacob Young, the number 5 hitter. And again, the infield comes in, and Young showing bunt. They have the safety squeeze on, and he takes it for ball 1.
Here's the first and third from Curtis Meade. He doesn't have to slow down since the ball's not too far in front of him, and almost falls down around second base, but it goes flying into third. And we can see right there that Jacob Young looking to bunt perhaps. We'll see how hard Brett Beatty, on the pick over, how hard Brett Beatty is able to get down here and defend the push bunt. He's got the responsibility of holding Abrams on until the pitch is delivered. Yeah, he almost went down.
Almost went down under. 1-0 to Young. Infield playing halfway. Young a speedster at the plate. Abrams with speed at first, and that's fouled off, and it's 1-1. So he's showing bunt on the first pitch, but not on the second. Early runs are huge on a night like this. There have already been rainouts in Baltimore and Philadelphia, and there's rain on the way here. There's every chance that we might play less than 9 innings tonight. So the Nats scoring first could be larger than usual. Second snap throw by Peterson, and Abrams back easily. Abrams has 5 steals this year. Stole 31 a year ago. Peterson's hard to run on because of that snap move, but now he's out of bullets. Abrams still with a short lead. And he misses up and away with the fastball, and it's 2-1 to Young. Young was 0 for 3 last night. He's got good career numbers against Peterson. 4 hits and 12 career at-bats. One of the few Nats who has hit David well. That pops out of the mid of Alvarez, and Abrams will go to second base. A passed ball puts a second runner into scoring position.
And Francisco's not going out to talk to Peterson, so I don't think he was crossed up. This looks like it got by him. Here's the pitch. It doesn't look like Francisco's crossed up. He just doesn't quite get around it with his shoulders enough. Ends up bouncing away from him.
Now the infield will come all the way in. Second and third, 1 out. 3-1 to the hitter. And Young hits it down to first. Booted by Beatty to get the out at first, but a run comes in to make it 2-0. Beatty would have had every chance to get Curtis Mead at the plate if he'd handled that cleanly. He was able to get the out, but Mead comes home to make it 2-0.
Yeah, as you said, Gary, here's the ball to Beatty. Looks like he takes a peek at the runner before he gets it secured. He's able to get the out in the end on a 3-U, but like you said, I think he'd like to have an opportunity at that one again, try and make a play at the plate, and the ball was hit so hard.
No error on the play, but an RBI for Young makes it 2-0, and now Dalen Lyle fouls off first pitch fastball. Abrams moved to third on the play. Got to second on the pass ball by Alvarez, who already has 5 pass balls this year. He's already led the National League twice in pass balls in his career. It was a good slider by Peterson to get ahead on Lyle 0-2. The rain's starting to fall. There's going to be more as the evening goes along. Forecast is that right around 9 o'clock we should get fairly deluged.
That's a good word.
Yeah, not unless you're standing in the middle of it.
Fair play.
0-2 coming to Lyle. And he lifts one foul. That'll go out of play. Lyle was 0 for 4 last night. Since June 27th of last year, no hitter in baseball has more multi-hit games than Dalen Lyle. 39 of them.
When I think of that, it makes me wonder. I may have to look up how well he does in his first at bat, because you get a base hit in your first at bat, you feel good about getting another one the rest of the game.
It certainly improves your odds of getting 2 if you get one.
Takes your stress levels down as well too about 15 minutes into the game.
2 of the fans heading for shelter. Rain coming a little earlier than we anticipated. 0-2 to Lyle. And he struck him out, got him with a slider. Peterson puts the inning to bed, but not before 2 runs score on 3 hits. 2-0 Nats.
On May 8th.
Honda Mets starting lineup tonight. MJ Melendez moves up to the 3 spot for the first time. Luis Roberts still on the sidelines. He had an MRI done on his ailing back today. No results yet. Tyrone Taylor is in center field. Cade Cavalli on the mound for the Nats. Cavalli is 27 years old. He was a first-round pick in 2020. Made his debut in 2022. But this is only his 18th major league start. Well, Bichette takes a strike. Cavalli had Tommy John surgery. Actually hurt the elbow facing the Mets in spring training in 23. Missed all of 23, all of 24, and came back in August of last year. Bichette hit a leadoff home run yesterday, 7th of his career, and he slashes that one foul. And it's 0-2.
Here's Bichette getting a fastball up. He came out of the box like he knew he got it, and he did plenty of it to get the Mets out and running and rolling yesterday, 1-0. He'll be looking to fight here 0-2 to see if he can get on base for 1.
0-2 from Cavalli, and he fouls back the fastball. Cavalli has not allowed a home run this year over his first 6 starts. He was walking a lot of hitters early on, but then his last start against the Braves, he pitched 5 innings, did not walk a batter, and struck out 10. 0-2 coming to Bichette. And this is away at 96 miles an hour, 1-2.
Yeah, we're going to see more velocity tonight from Cavalli than we did last night from Littell. He's going to top out at 98 and sprinkle in some knuckle curves as his kill pitch. More fastball curveball this evening.
And Bichette loops one in the air to right center. There's Weimer. And Joey Weimer puts it away, 1 out.
And here's your Nationals defense presented by Suffolk Credit Union. Joey Weimer gets the start in right field as James Wood is the DH this evening. And Curtis Meads at first base, the Australian.
There is so much speed in that Washington lineup. Weimer's a big guy who can really run. Nunez has great speed. Abrams, Lyle. Here's Soto. 1 for 4 last night, including a 2-run homer. And he takes fastball outside. Ruiz thought about challenging it, but decided not to. Juan Soto playing against the team he came to the big leagues with and won a World Series with in 2019. Flies one down the left field line, slicing, and it stays fair into the corner. Soto on his way to second, and he slides in safely with an opposite field double. Ball looked like it was going to slice away and go foul, and it just barely stayed fair in the left field corner.
Yeah, Juan gets a fastball away, drives it into left field, short hops the wall right down the left field line. Good sign the way he was moving into second base as well, too. Looked like he was running pretty well. And here's Juanito. Yep, fastball right on the edge. He's staring at it, not quite sure. And then once it's fair, go ahead, get into second base. Don't have to kill ourselves, but gets the inning going, trying to get back in this game down 2.
And Jay Melendez fouls one back. Soto was asked after the game last night about his calf, which kept him on the sidelines for nearly 3 weeks. He said it is a non-issue. He's been dealing with a little forearm stiffness that's kept him from playing the outfield, but he should be back playing the outfield by the weekend in Anaheim. 0-1 to Melendez, was 1 for 3 last night, and he takes a slider low and in, 1-1. You know, Soto against the Nats, it's kind of like you against the Mets. Came into the night with a career on-base percentage against his old team of 1,042.
That's quite the OPS.
Well, it's kind of like yours against the Mets. Popped foul back by Melendez, and it was 1-2.
Yeah, I remember Kelly Johnson one time talking about that. It's not like you were trying harder against former teams, but you might be paying a little bit closer attention than you normally would.
Well, Kelly had a few former teams along the way.
Good player. Great.
Kept coming back to the Mets, though.
Better teammate.
1-2 coming. You know, everybody talks about the acquisition of Cespedes in 15, but getting Kelly Johnson and Juan Uribe in the weeks before that was huge as well.
Really good. I remember Terry Collins brought us into his office and was kind of like, this is a meritocracy now. We got real players in here, so whoever hits, plays.
Melendez able to lay off on a good changeup by Cavalli, and it's 3-2. Melendez had a good night swinging the bat last night, went 1 for 3. In cleanup last night for the first time since 2024. He's hitting third tonight for the first time since 2023. So your OPS against the Mets was 1,061, just a shade better than Soto against the Nats, although his just went up with that double. That's ripped foul down the right side.
Yeah, I like how Melendez is hitting in the 3-hole today. Juan wins so many of his matchups, he's going to open up that hole. So I like the idea later in the game, perhaps if Juan, they try to pitch around him and give Melendez a chance to hit the hole. But right now he's looking to drive him in with 1 out from second base.
Francisco Alvarez hitting cleanup tonight. He's on deck. 3-2 to Melendez, and the curveball stays high for ball 4. And so after the double by Soto, Melendez walks, and the Mets have the tying runs on base with 1 out. Bill Miller calling the balls and strikes tonight. Brian Walsh, and we've got every Chad that's not hanging.
Yep, Fairchild, Whitson. Important at bat early in the game for me for Alvarez right here. Of course, you'd like to see him get a base hit. Maybe even more so, I would like to see him either be playing against the left fielder high or playing low against the right fielder here in this 3-4 hole. See if he can get a good pitch to hit 0-0.
It's been a rough homestand for Alvarez. Soto has to dive back in ahead of that pickoff tag as Nunez took the throw. Alvarez just 3 for 23 on this homestand. And the double play ball has been of particular concern. He's already hit into 5 double plays this year. That's what Cavalli's hoping for. But Cavalli has struggled with RBI opportunities against him. The opposition's hitting .375 against Cavalli with runners in scoring position. And that's on the outside corner to Alvarez, and it's 1-1. Bill Miller tends to have a large strike zone.
Yeah, that's the way I remember it, Gary. I've had my coming togethers with Bill. Always enjoyed having him back there, but we would chirp at each other from time to time.
Short fuse or long fuse?
Mine got longer as I got older. When I was younger, it was really short. We had one coming together one time. It was when that you weren't allowed to leave the box, and so he kind of started clapping at me like, get in the box. And I said, Billy, you know what? I'll pay the fine if I need to. I'm not rushing this at bat. This one feels important to me.
See, I was asking you if Bill Miller had a short fuse, but you went right for the self jugular.
Bill Miller's the law, so he gets to pick his fuse.
1-2 to Alvarez with Beatty on deck. And he lays off on the slider, and it's 2-2. It's been very selective early against Cavalli. Trying to limit the chase on that breaking ball out of the strike zone. Two coming. And the fastball got him looking. Alvarez down on strikes for the second out.
And here's a look from overhead. See if it catches the outside corner on the way back. And
you know, the Mets have been using challenges in unfortunate situations the last few days. And I wonder if that influenced Alvarez to not challenge. This was a spot where maybe he should have jumped.
Yeah, to end in at bat, you think he might want to use the challenge. You could tell by his reaction that he was uncertain whether or not it was there. He might have talked himself out of challenging it as he walked away.
Cavalli has retired the 2 right-hand hitters, allowed the 2 left-hand hitters to reach, and that's the way it's been going for him. The righties are hitting just .146 against Cavalli. The lefties .397. That's the biggest spread of any pitcher in the major leagues. We'll see if Beatty can take advantage of the platoon advantage. It's a good breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Brett had a rough start to this game in the field, trying to snap an 0 for 10 at the plate, batting with 2 out and 2 on to the first. Sweeper at his feet. It's 2-1.
Yeah, if you're Brett in this situation, I'd be looking for a fastball in the middle of the plate, throwing you 2 breaking balls, miss with the last one. See if you can get a fastball right in the middle, playing right center field.
Soto at second, Melendez at first, and Beatty takes that one low, and it's 3-1.
It makes me wonder with that 2-1 pitch change up in the dirt when Kay doesn't throw many of them, if he perhaps sees the right-hander on deck and sees that there's a base open still at third. We'll get an idea here on this 3-1 pitch how much of a fight he wants to pick with Brett.
Changeup is a 9% pitch for him. He's already thrown a couple in this inning. 3-1 to Beatty, and it's away ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So the 3 left-hand hitters have all reached against Cavalli, a double and 2 walks, and now get to face the right-hand hitter in Tyrone Taylor. Mets have every available left-handed bat in the lineup tonight.
Very early mound visit.
Pitching coach Simon Matthews out to talk to Cavalli, maybe just to give him a blow after 24 pitches.
A lot of pitches, deeper counts.
Well, we mentioned earlier about the weather and what is impending. After giving up 2 runs in the top of the first inning, it would certainly feel a lot more comfortable for the Mets if they're able to shave something off that here in the bottom of the first. Tyrone Taylor's first plate appearance this year with the bases loaded. He's a .289 lifetime hitter with the bases full, 3 grand slams. 0 for 1 last night. Soto at third, Melendez at second, Beatty at first with 2 out. And Tyrone swings at a high fastball, 0-1.
Yeah, here's the 0-0's fastball up in the zone. Don't think it was a strike. Tyrone looked like he was ready to hit. Just got the fastball skip by him just a little bit. 0-0.
Taylor able to lay off. Ball and a strike. Tyrone's hit 2 home runs this year. They both come against lefties. Solid for a base hit right now that could get the Mets even. And that one misses away. 2 balls and a strike.
Really good take, 1-1 to get back ahead in the count, especially after swinging at the 0-0. There's a little bit up out in the zone. Still be looking in the middle right here. You go fastball or curveball.
More balls than strikes for Cavalli so far. Needs a strike here. And Taylor fouled it back. Throwing 4 straight fastballs now to Taylor. Carson Bench would be next. Cavalli about to throw his 29th pitch of this opening inning. 2-2 coming. And the breaking ball sits high. Taylor did not swing, and now it's 3-2. So now the merry-go-round will be in motion. Soto, Melendez, and Beatty will all be running. Three-two to Taylor. Struck him out with a fastball, and Cavalli strands the bases loaded in the opening inning. After 2-0 Nats. Second inning, Joey Wiemer leading off for the Nationals. 2-0 Washington. David Peterson trying to get settled in. And Wiemer takes low and in. 2-0. Joey Wiemer got off to a start this year that no major leaguer ever had before. He reached base safely in each of his first 12 plate appearances. Nobody else had ever reached safely in more than their first 10. And Wiemer was a guy who has basically been shuttled around the last couple of years. That's got him on waivers from the Giants in January, and he certainly hit the ground running.
Yeah, 12 straight plate appearances reaching base safely is a dream start to the season.
Chops one back toward the mound. Peterson on it. 1 out. Around the majors presented by Jeep. Garrett Crochet, latest casualty on the injured list for the Red Sox. Having a rough go this year after a tremendous season for Boston last year. Red Sox got beat by Toronto today 8-1. Ernie Clement had a 3-run homer. Here's Nasim Nunez bluffing a bunt. Nunez 0 for 2 last night. A little better right-hand hitter than left. And Bichette in on the cutout to guard against the bunt. Beatty at the edge of the grass as well. And Peterson missed with the sinker. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, really like you can see Brett Beatty's positioning right there, Gary. You can see that he's basically going to play like if the ball's bunted right at me, I'll take it. And if Peterson's able to get it on the way over there, he'll take it, get the bag himself, or just let it go by him. And then Brett can hit him on an underhand toss to try to record the out should Nunez look to bunt.
Nunez 0 for 2 last night. He gets a breaking ball and lines it to right. Over comes Bench, and he makes the reaching grab. The ball kept sailing away from Carson, but he was able to close the distance for the second out.
Yeah, here's Carson going to get it. And as Gary, you said, it was kind of sailing. I think since it had the breaking ball spin in it, those balls tend to have a little bit more carry to it. But as we see, it doesn't matter which corner it is or even in center field. Carson Bench very sure-handed this season so far in the outfield.
So now Keibert Ruiz hitting number 9 in the order. Ruiz, who has been the stalwart catcher for the Nats for 5.5 years, seen his playing time diminish this year. Drew Millis has been splitting time with him. They're both switch hitters. Millis a little better left-hand hitter, Ruiz a little better right-hand hitter. This was the the linchpin of the trade that the Nats made with the Dodgers back in 21, where they sent Max Scherzer and Trey Turner to LA. And Ruiz has never quite hit the way they had hoped. Ball, 2 strikes. Peterson looking for a 1-2-3 inning, and Ruiz keeps the at-bat alive. We mentioned that David last year was so proficient at shutting teams down in the first inning. Last year in 25 starts, he gave up a total of 4 first-inning runs. This year, in 5 starts, he's given up 6 runs in the first inning.
What is 25 innings on 4 runs? What's the ERA on that?
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's 1.44. That'll play.
Yes, it will.
2-2 coming to Ruiz. And he grounds one behind the bag at third. Running throw by Michelle. Right on target. That retires the side. Peterson gets a 1-2-3. Still 2-0 Nats. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Carson Benj will lead off for New York. Benj's bat has really come alive the last few days. 7 for 16 over his last 5 games. Had 2 more hits last night and drove in a pair of runs.
Yeah, really been spraying the ball all over the field as well, too, getting his hits to left, center, and right field.
It was interesting talking to Carlos Mendoza today about Benj. And it felt as though to Mendy that even at the depths of Benj's offensive troubles, that nothing worried him.
Yeah, relatively unfazed, which says a lot about Carson.
Flies this one out to right field, and Weaver looking through some raindrops.
Forgive me, Gary. It takes a lot of maturity to come into the league and kind of get beat up a little bit as you get here and still be paying attention to what the game's asking you to do, still trying to make a play, whether on the base paths or in the outfield.
I mean, it really helps in this game to have a short memory.
Yeah, it's about the only thing you need to have, at least for the bad things. You can have a long memory for the good stuff you do.
Here's Marcus Semien. Well, you don't want to live too much with the good things either, you know. Sometimes a guy hits a couple of home runs and then he thinks he's a home run hitter.
That's fair. Sometimes you could take your shot to hit a home run if the scoreboard lets you. Right now, if you're Marcus Semien, you're trying to get on base and see if the left-hander behind you, Mauricio, can take advantage of Cavalli, who hasn't been as good against left-handed pitching this year.
Semien 0 for 3 last night, just 1 for his last 15. Cavalli worked out of a bases-loaded jam in the first. And like Peterson, looking for a quicker inning here in the second. Cavalli made 10 starts last year after he finally came back from 2.5 years on the sidelines following Tommy John surgery. He was effective. And he looked great in spring training. He strikes out Semien. That's his 3rd strikeout. 2 out in the inning.
Here's the fastball from Cavalli. 2 strikes right through the zone with about 96. Got a pretty light fastball today and been able to work it, really finish it through the zone. Mets just looking to build something after David Peterson gets that 0. You try to go with 2 outs right now, see if you could turn the lineup over to Bo Bichette and Juan Soto.
Ronnie Mauricio takes a curveball for a strike.
Makes me think back into situations like this when the offense isn't quite going as good as you want, that Kevin Long used to say, especially in the postseason, that a base runner's a rally. Yeah, that's how you think you have to take it right now. It's like, see if you can get someone on base. That'll be a rally to get you going.
When the Mets were at their depths in the late 70s and the early 80s, as a fan, we used to think 2-0 was a rally.
It's just that much closer to first base.
Ronnie Mauricio 1 for 4 last night, making his 6th start, settling in as the everyday shortstop in the absence of Francisco Lindor. And he goes down on 3 pitches, and Cavalli has his 1-2-3 inning. 4 strikeouts, first time through the order. 2-0 now.
Tonight.
7:49 p.m. sunset in New York. David Peterson's first pitch in the third inning. It's a slider in for a strike to James Wood. Wood opened the game with a single into right field, came around to score. Just his fourth hit and 14 at bats against Peterson, and tries to jam him, and he stopped the swing. Ball and a strike. It'll be Wood, then Curtis Mead and Brady House for the Nats in the third. And Wood chases a slider, and it's 1-2. James Wood, who grew up in Rockville, Maryland. His dad, though, Kenny Wood, was one of the great basketball players on Long Island. Kenny Wood, for a long time, was the leading all-time scorer in Long Island high school basketball history out in East Hampton.
I feel like he'd have a lot of competition to be the leading scorer. Hoops is a big deal up here in the Northeast.
Met James's dad. He's a big man. I mean, James is big.
Yeah.
And Kenny is massive. Wood down on strikes. That's the third strikeout for Peterson, who's now retired 6 in a row. Burgers are on the grill. Got the overlap there. Got to fix the overlap. And that little piece is not going to cook. I'm sure she'll fix it in a moment. Got to get the rest of the patties on the grill first. Oh, don't want the paper under the patty. That's no good. It's a true professional at work there.
Yeah, being able to stack all that and organize it, deal with everybody coming up with orders all over the place,
and know when they're done. And you know, you don't want to overcook, you don't want to undercook. I don't think you can order your burger to order on the grill there.
Yeah, you kind of get what you get.
You have to keep kind of a medium temperature going on. Curtis Mead had a base hit and scored a run his first time up. Mauricio flashing to his left, makes that play and throws out Mead, 2 away. Nice play by Mauricio.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Gary.
Oh, wow. It's a sheet cake. He does now. Festive. Very festive.
Happy birthday.
This animated as Russ gets. Thank you, guys.
That's the animated guess.
So I want you to know he's got the sheet cake there, which is a lovely, I don't know where that came from. But we also have the vegan cupcakes for those of us who tend toward non-dairy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want the fattest, sugariest ones.
Well, I think that's coming right. That's coming off the sheet
I'll
cake.
take this half of it. Happy birthday, Gary. We'll celebrate it.
Thanks, Russ. Russ takes care of us. He may not show much emotion, but he loves us. Grounded down to third, backhanded by Bichette. On the hop and perfectly to get Brady House. Nicely done by Bichette. 2 nice defensive plays on the infield for the Mets in that inning as Peterson gets him 1-2. Home third inning. Mets will have the top of the batting order. Bo Bichette leads off against Cade Cavalli. Bichette flied out to right his first time up. I'm a little disorganized this inning.
Well, having your cake and eat it too.
The cupcakes are unbelievable. I recommend them highly. Al, our cameraman, is salivating hearing me talking about the cupcakes. Well, thank you very much. If only you knew how many years it's taken me to get to this point.
All been building to this moment.
Outside the Bichette, 2 balls and a strike. Bichette, Soto, and Melendez for the Mets in the third against Cavalli. Got out of the first inning jam, then retired the side in order in the second. And he picks off that outside corner, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, well-located fastball, 2-1.
Now here's a pitcher who is trying to keep everything away to the right-hand batters. As a right-hand hitter, how must they adjust?
I think the way I would do it is you want to look up in the zone a little bit, somewhere up in there. Just a little bit unlucky to hit it right to the second baseman. But that's what I would be doing if I was facing kind of a left-handed pitcher who wanted to dot that outside corner. If I get him up, it's not going to run. And here's David Peterson, Francisco Alvarez talking to each other in between innings. Reminds me, Max Scherzer would come in and he'd be talking about the previous inning. You know, here's what I'm doing, here's what I'm feeling. You know, not all pitchers are like that. Some of them kind of want to keep to themselves and don't want to talk a whole lot. But as you can see, David, he's been able to throw up 2 zeros after that first inning, giving up 2 runs.
Soto drives one to deep left field. Lyle goes back at the wall, and it's out of here. Juan Soto homers for the 2nd straight night. And again, he goes opposite field. 3rd of the year for Soto to cut the Nats lead to 2-1. Well, it appears as though Juan Soto is all the way back from his stint on the IL. Last night, the home run was his first extra base hit since coming back. Now he has 3 extra base hits in his last 4 at-bats.
Hard hat? Yeah. Cut the lead in half, put a hard hat on.
Well, this team needs for Juan Soto to put it on his back.
And he has so far this night, and last night as well, too. Won a couple of his matchups in some big spots.
That's the first home run that Cade Cavalli has allowed this year in 27 innings. And Soto continues to rake against the team he started with.
It gives you such a jolt in the dugout. If you're David Peterson, you've gone out there and the first inning didn't go the way you wanted, but you throw up 2 zeros, and then all of a sudden here comes your ringer. He cuts the lead in half with 1 swing of the bat.
Melendez chases a changeup for strike 3. That's 5 strikeouts for Cavalli.
And here's Juan, gets a fastball, as you can see, set up away, up and out over the plate, right on the edge. And Juan, as we all know, can handle a fastball. You see him look at the barrel flattened behind him, stays level through it, can drive it out to any part of the ballpark. That's a full hit to be able to take it on to straight left field and drive it off the wall in the party deck.
Now, we have seen Juan 3 times now in the last 2 days drive the ball to left field for an extra base hit. What allows him to do that so much better than most left-hand hitters?
I'd say one of them is like how accurate he is, even though the ball's further away from him. And since the ball's further away, it allows him to throw a little bit bigger punch. That lead arm gets a little bit straighter, and you think of like the size of the punch. He's so strong and he's so wide. He stays in the hit, kind of stays down and through. You can almost think of it the way a pitcher comes down the mound. He stays down in the hit, and the ball just has second half to it. It just continues to carry.
Alvarez takes strike 3, called for a 2nd straight at bat, but Soto's home run cuts the Nats lead in half. It's 2-1 Washington as we go to the 4th inning at Citi Field.
Gunnery Sergeant Delia Introini served our country as a member of the United States Marine Corps for more than 10 years, from 2003 to 2013. During that time, Delia was stationed stateside and overseas in Okinawa and Romania. During her career, Delia served as a part of the Black Sea Rotational Force 11 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and as a part of a security cooperation team attached to Marine Forces South in Miami. For her efforts after receiving meritorious promotion to E2, E4, and E5, Delia was selected to E6 from the below zone. Clover commends those who served. And here she is, our veteran of the game, Delia Introini. Presenting Delia with an American flag that has flown over Citi Field is Christian Scott.
Clover and SNY commend today's veteran of the game, along with those who served our nation and military community.
Papa John's.
MLB Plus is new for 2026. Select out-of-market games every week, plus live radio broadcasts of every game and minor league action. Visit MLB.com/MLB Plus to subscribe today.
Good chance for David Peterson here on defense to work together with the offense. Like to get a clean inning right here, not let any runs score, and see if you can get the offense back in the dugout to try and tie the game up or do even more.
Peterson allowed 3 hits to the first 4 batters he faced tonight. Since then, he's retired 8 in a row. And he gets a slider past C.J. Abrams, and it's 1-2. Abrams drove in the first Washington run on an 0-2 pitch. Singled into right field to drive in Wood. be Abrams, then Jacob Young, and Dalen Lyle for the Nats in the 4th.
Happy birthday to her?
Beautifully sticky cotton candy. Peterson picks up his 4th strikeout as he fans Abrams. He's set down 9 in a row, and we check in with Steve Gill. Steve?
Gary, one of the biggest challenges that David Peterson had early this season was he just wasn't getting the balls in enough to righties. We heard Carlos Mendoza talk a lot about that. And so when he moved to the bullpen, they used a brand new drill to try and help him with that. And they had Peterson start throwing his bullpen sessions with a baseball that was 5% bigger than a normal baseball, but weighed the same amount. And what that does is it forces him to really get behind the baseball, overemphasize how he needs to get on top of the baseball to throw it inside. If he doesn't, then it's really overemphasizing arm side misses. And they think that over the course of the last few weeks, that has helped him get back on track with his ability to really stick it in there inside to righties.
It's fascinating, Steve. You know, Steve, we have birthday cupcakes up here, and I'd like to send one down to you because I know you've had a really rough day.
Well, if I do eat one, I'm going to have to eat it on the right side of my mouth because I was eating a little bit of candy in the car on the way over here, and must have been old candy. It was very stale, sticky, and it stuck to one of my teeth in the back left. As I went to yank it off, it took my crown with me. Now, that's bad enough, but I didn't realize that my crown had come off. So I thought it was a weird part of the candy, and I just tossed it into the center console, and it is now stuck underneath the console, and I can't get it out. So I've got to get a brand new crown tomorrow morning before getaway day.
That's a really, really bad story, Steve. So maybe you shouldn't be eating the cupcake.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I'm not in the mood. Not in the mood for anything joyous right now, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm sorry. We've all been there, Steve, and I'm glad that you can keep a smile on your face. The question is, are you going to be well enough in Anaheim to test the hot dogs?
I'm going to make sure. I'm going to make sure that I have a tooth ready to taste the hot dogs. The unfortunate thing, though, is that I may not be able to pay for it.
Dalen Lyle rips a base into the right, and Young will go first to third. What do you mean you won't be able to pay for it?
Well, the other unfortunate part of my afternoon is I have no idea where my wallet is. So I was already annoyed that I didn't have my wallet. And then I lost the crown. And, you know, it's not been a banner day. Now I'm here sitting in the rain.
Is the wallet perhaps stuck under the console with the crown?
I mean, anything's possible. I will say that one of the reasons you haven't seen me until now, what are we in the 4th inning right now, is I went out to try and get that crown out, and I broke the center console.
I need a new card. New crown, new card, new wallet.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's consolation waiting for you in Anaheim. Wayne will be there Saturday, and it's his birthday, so you have to put a smile on your face. First and third and 1 out, Joey Wiemer, the batter. Peterson buries that one in the dirt, and it's 2-0. It's a very sad story that Steve is telling us.
He's had a week worth of experiences in one day.
Somehow he'll be able to expense it to SNY. Here's the 2-0. And Wiemer fouled back the fastball. Wiemer had a comebacker his first time up. We first saw Joey Wiemer playing with the Milwaukee Brewers. Came out of the University of Cincinnati. Played for the Marlins briefly last year. He's got that whole rigmarole going before
He's got a lot
settles in.
A lot of movement, a lot of style.
He chops that one slowly. It'll be a tough play for Bichette against Wiemer's speed. He doesn't even bother throwing it. An RBI infield hit for Joey Wiemer makes it 3-1 Washington.
And Joey Wiemer looked like he gets a changeup. He bounces into the ground, but for a big man, he's getting down the line pretty good. He can smell the hit. Nothing Bo Bichette could do. Unlucky for David Peterson. He gets the ground ball he wants, but it's not hard enough to even get a fielder's choice, or even more so a double play that he was looking for.
Well, Peterson put himself in the soup with a walk to Jacob Young. Now Young has come in to score. 2 on and 1 out. Now Nunez, and the corners have to pinch in, because Nunez is always a threat to bunt, even with 1 out. He fouls it away. Nunez lined out to right his first time up. So Peterson had retired 9 in a row before the walk to Young, and now trying to slam the door here in the 4th. Interesting watching Bichette set up there. He's a little side saddle.
Yeah,
He stands in the cutout.
it gives you an opportunity to see the base runner at second base as well too. So you kind of start open, and then I'm wondering if as the pitch comes in, then he'll kind of close his legs off and square up to home plate in case there is a bunt.
They just moved him back right before that pitch. 2 balls and a strike to Nunez.
It would be more a position if it was first and second and nobody out and you were certain they might bunt. I think just for the first couple pitches, just to see if Nunez was going to bunt, he ended up kind of side saddling it.
The curveball misses, and now Peterson behind the number 8 hitter, 3-1. David has walked 1. He struck out 4, given up 3 runs and 5 hits. Keibert Ruiz, the number 9 hitter, on deck. And that's ball 4, and that'll load him up. So the second walk of the inning for Peterson. And now this game teetering. The Mets already down 3-1. Sean Manaea gets up in the Mets bullpen.
Here comes the pitching coach.
This is kind of the way David's season has gone. He's had stretches where he looks like he did the first half of last year when he was an all-star, and then this inning, all of a sudden the plate eluding him, issuing a couple of walks, and now he's got a huge mess to work out.
Yeah, the at bat to Young where he walked him seemed to get him out of sorts just a little bit, and then Keith sent me a text and he said he was just a little bit concerned with how hard the left-handed hitters have been hitting David Peterson lately. And there in the middle inning, he was able to get the strikeout earlier against C.J. Abrams, but so far between Wood, Abrams has a base hit, Lyle, like the left-hand hitters are hitting him pretty hard right now.
So now a huge out to get with Keibert Ruiz coming up. Ruiz grounded out his first time up. It's a lot of balls on the ground. Peterson, a ground ball specialist, could really use a double play. And he gets that first pitch curveball over for a strike. Lyle at third, Weimer at second, Nunez at first. Great speed in all those spots. Ruiz, though, at the plate, a very slow runner. And he overpowered him with that fastball, and it's 0-2.
We'll see where David goes for the strikeout here. I'd say he gets at least 2 chances at it. Go breaking ball in the dirt, get a little help from Francisco Alvarez, try to get a swing and miss from Ruiz.
Two coming, and he just got a piece of that slider to stay on the at bat. 26 pitches already in this inning for Peterson, and still only 1 out. David's thrown as many as 89 pitches in a game this year, but the Mets figured that he'd probably come up short of that today, having worked out of the bullpen his last 2 outings. So this might be his last batter. Got James Wood on deck. 0-2 coming, and he struck him out. Went up and away with the changeup, and that's the second out of the inning. Now, do you leave him in to face Wood, or do you bring in Manaea?
I think I'd give him Wood. As you said, there's a changeup out and over the plate. Ruiz doesn't let it get deep enough, swings through it out front. David gets the strikeout he's looking for with the bases loaded. Look to finish the inning against James Wood with 2 outs.
Wood had a base hit in the first, struck out in the third. Bases loaded, 2 down. Biggest out of the game for Peterson, and Wood takes a fastball for a strike. 0-1. rain impending. Peterson cannot afford to give up any more runs. Not yet an official game. Swing and a miss and a good curveball, and it's 0-2.
Really good encouragement from Alvarez after that. Just give him a little fist pound from behind the plate on a good breaking ball. I'd like to see him throw 2 more breaking balls in front of the plate. Bounce it right in there and see if you can get the swing and miss or soft contact.
Wood leads the league in strikeouts. And Peterson gets the half swing, but he stopped it in time. Third base umpire Chad Whitson with the call. A true hanging Chad.
Yeah, he opted for the slider here. Here's the check swing from Wood. Oh, he didn't go. Those ones did go a lot more than I think in real time when you slow it down.
1-2 coming. Way with the fastball. 2-2. James Wood starts today 5th in the league in on-base percentage, 5th in slugging. He's 23 years old and really coming into his own. 2-2 from Peterson, and the curveball misses down, and now it's 3-2, and that'll set the merry-go-round in motion. Lyle, Weimer, and Nunez will all be running. Three-2 coming to Wood, and he walked him to force in a run. Peterson got ahead 0-2, and he loses James Wood to his 3rd walk of the inning, and that'll be the last pitch he throws. The Nats tack on a run and lead 4-1. An unfortunate finish for Peterson when he was on the edge of getting out of trouble. Now Sean Manaea will come out of the bullpen. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Nissan. Shop NissanUSA.com.
And long live Long Island.
Sean Manaea comes out of the bullpen for New York. Coming with the bases loaded and 2 out, trying to keep the Mets in this game. Sean last pitched against the Rockies. That was on Friday. Pitched behind Freddie Peralta. Went 3 1/3, gave him 2 runs, 3 hits. As Mendoza opted to leave Peterson in to face James Wood, and it looked like David could get the job done, getting ahead 0-2, but couldn't finish the deal. Now Manaea comes in to face Curtis Mead with the bases loaded. Mead is 1 for 2. And he takes the first fastball from Sean up high for ball 1. Mead, the 8th man up in the inning. 2 runs are home. It's 4-1 Washington. And Mead takes a fastball strike, 1-1. Peterson threw 80 pitches over 3 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs so far, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. And Manaea trying to save him some runs. And he hits Mead with the sweeper, and that'll force it another run. So the wheels are coming off for the Mets here in the 4th inning. A bases loaded walk, and now a bases loaded hit by pitch to make it 5-1. The bases remain loaded for Brady House, the 9th man up in the inning. And House takes a fastball for a strike. House was robbed of a hit on a fine play by Bichette, going to the outfield grass to throw him out in the 3rd. Oh. And a high fly ball deep left center. Back goes Melendez near the wall, and it's out of here. A grand slam for Brady House, and the roof caves in on the Mets in the 4th inning. A 7-run 4th. Last night it was the Mets with 7 runs in the 4th. Tonight the Nats turn the table, and they lead it 9-1. Brady House's 4th home run of the year. His first career grand slam, and 7 runs are home in the inning. And the Mets are down 9-1. C.J. Abrams drives one to the gap in left center, and that's down for an extra base hit. Abrams pulls in at second base with a double. And Manaea unable to stop the bleeding here in the fourth.
And here's the home run from Brady House. You see the low arm slot from Manaea, just kind of pulls it more to the middle of the plate than he wants to on that fastball. Brady House doesn't miss it, gets there on time, ends up hammering into the left center field gap. Felt like he got it right off of the bat. It was a loud sound. Sean unable to stop bleeding, as you were saying, Gary. Tried to get it out of the inning, save David Peterson some runs and the Mets some runs, and now it's as uphill a climb as you could ask for here for the last 6 innings of this game.
So Peterson winds up being charged with 7 runs over 3 2/3. David Peterson making his return to the rotation tonight after being exiled to the bullpen for a couple of turns. Sees his ERA balloon to 6.53. Jacob Young got the whole thing started with a 1-out walk.
It seemed quite innocent at the time when he ended up drawing the walk.
Well, when he drew the walk, we were busy talking about Steve's bad day.
That's right.
And that has now morphed into David Peterson and Sean Manaea's bad day.
Left-handed starter's bad day.
1-1 to Young. Manaea has come in with the bases loaded and 2 out, hit a batter to force in a run, giving up a grand slam and then a double. 4th grand slam Manaea has allowed in his career. 3 of those have come as a Met. Bounces that sweeper. He's had no command of that pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 22-year-old Brady House with his first career grand slam. He has tattooed left-hand pitching this year, and he tattooed a baseball to bring in 4. And that fastball gets Young looking, and the inning finally comes to an end. But 11 Nats came to bat, and 7 of them were scored.
Yeah.
Your Liberty Mutual Insurance field coverage. Jacob Young among the better defensive center fielders in baseball, and well, the Mets learned that the hard way last September as they were trying to secure a playoff berth. He made this catch, which nobody's ever made before.
The volley kick to yourself to make the out feels like a record.
Then in the same game, with the Mets down by a run in the 9th, he robbed Francisco Alvarez of a home run, and the Nats won the game 3-2. That is some outstanding defense. Well, Cade Cavalli in a great spot. So now is a 9-1 lead as the Mets come to bat at the bottom of the 4th. Brett Beatty drew a walk his first time up. And a bouncer to Abrams, playing right near the bag. 1 out. It's funny how games change so quickly. The home run by Juan Soto to cut the Nats lead to 2-1. Peterson sailing through the 2nd and 3rd innings. Everything looked like it was trending right, and then an innocent walk to Jacob Young, and it all goes bad. Spirals,
and 7 runs later. Even in that inning that he gets, then the 7 scored, he struck out C.J. Abrams to lead the inning off. Thought he was going to be able to get him in the dugout, but unfortunately didn't. And now the Mets are chasing. But all these at bats still count. Get on base, get a good ball to hit, see if you can stack some runners on and get a double or a home run.
Tyrone Taylor struck out with the bases loaded to end the 1st inning. And he pulls that one through the hole, and Abrams able to cut it off, but that's an infield hit for Taylor. Could have used that in the 1st inning.
Yeah, that would have played very nicely in his 1st inning at bat with the bases loaded. And here's it just outside of the stretch of Brady House at 3rd base, and even though C.J. Abrams is able to get it and secure it in his glove, kind of travels with it here, shuffles a little bit, just put it in your pocket with the way Tyrone Taylor gets down the line. And if you're the Mets, again, get another base runner if you can.
1 out and 1 on. Here's Carson Bench, who flied to right his first time, and tries to hold the swing and does on the curveball. Ball 1. And so Nats will finish this series with a day game tomorrow, and then the Mets head out to California. Third trip to California. Who wrote this schedule? Swing and a miss, and a back foot slider, and it's 1-1.
I miss the divisional schedule. I like playing the division teams more.
I totally agree. The Mets will get a bit of a break in their series in Anaheim. They will not face Jose Soriano, who has been among the best pitchers in baseball so far this year. Ball drops in for a strike, 1-2. That takes us to the road ahead. Your radio home for the Mets is 880 AM and streaming on the free Odyssey app. Day game tomorrow, and then Anaheim, Denver, and Phoenix on the docket starting on Friday night.
I have a more casual look for me in that picture. No tie.
Trying to get you more in that California mode, and Bench went around on the half swing, and he has struck out. That's 7 Ks now for Cavalli. He struck out 10 in his last start.
Yeah, it makes me look a lot fitter than I am.
I was going to say, I think that you've definitely gone in the weight room.
Yeah, that's not the way I look right now. I know. Slim cut, extra slim.
I mean, you make me and Steve look like schlubs.
Well, I mean, Steve's had a rough go over here, so busted mouth, lost wallet.
Marcus Semien lines a base hit into center field. Taylor pulls in at second, so he's nuts with a couple of hits here in the fourth. Semien's first hit in the series.
Yes, Semien gets a breaking ball, shoots it right back through the box for a base hit. It's going to be a slow way back, but, you know, a double, the homers. See if you can get some slugging going when you get these base runners on. Keep trying to give yourself chances.
Ronnie Mauricio was struck out on 3 pitches by Cavalli his first time up. And Ronnie takes first pitch curveball outside for ball 1. So far, all of Mauricio's at-bats have come as a left-hand batter. Last year, he struggled so mightily from the right side of the plate. But he looked good in spring batting right-handed, and then he had some hits in the International League batting right-handed. We'll see when the Mets face a lefty if he's in the lineup. That gets away from Ruiz, and that'll move the runners up to second and third. Swinging strike, but Ruiz unable to keep it in front of him.
Here's a breaking ball in the dirt that gets away from Ruiz. Can't imagine that was the pitch Mauricio was looking for, but he gets an extra runner in scoring position for his troubles.
So it's a wild pitch and a chance for Mauricio to get a couple of runs back with a base hit. Taylor now at third, Semien at second with 2 out. And Mauricio goes after a back foot breaking ball, and it's 2-2. The spin has given Mauricio some fits.
A lot of trouble. Doesn't look like he's seen it very well. I almost would go look for it myself just in an effort to not swing through it again.
Well, Bichette would be next. And Mauricio goes down swinging on that curved ball, and so Cavalli works around a couple of hits in the fourth. Keeps it a 9-1 game as we head to the 5th. SNY's NBA Insider breaks down Jalen Brunson's dominant performance in the Knicks' Game 5 win over the Hawks on the Putback with Ian Begley. Check it out now on SNY's YouTube page. Sean Manaea got ambushed when he came out of the 4th inning with the bases loaded. Gave up 3 inherited runs for David Peterson and then 2 of his own. Dylan Lyle, who had a base hit in that 4th inning, 1 for 2 on the night. He leads off in the 5th inning for Washington. And the fastball dents the outside corner. It's 1-2. It'll be Lyle, then Joey Wiemer, and Nasim Nunez for the Nats. And the sweeper pulled foul. Dylan Lyle was the big surprise for the Nats last year. National League Player of the Month in September. Won himself a starting job for this year, and he chases a high sweeper for strike 3. So Naya has his 2nd strikeout, 1 down in the 5th. You might be wondering, because he was so highly touted, why the Nats don't have Dylan Cruz playing right field. After all, he was the #2 pick in the draft, right behind his LSU teammate Paul Skeens in 2023. But Cruz had a terrible spring training. He's chasing pitches all over the place. Same has happened in AAA so far this year, and so he remains in the minors.
Yeah, I think we were talking to Charlie Slow and Dave Yeager with the Nats radio broadcast and saying that, like you said, he didn't swing the bat well, didn't make very good decisions in spring training, and he's gone down and kind of got sent to AAA. It's like, go perform here and we'll call you up, but he hasn't been able to so far this season.
That gives an opportunity to a guy like Weimer, who got off to a great start. He strikes out on 3 pitches, and Minaya, after a dreadful beginning, has now struck out the last 3 batters he's faced. I think it all comes down to when we talked about this when the Rockies were in town. Teams that have kind of had guys on scholarship, they're rethinking their plan.
When you get a new regime, a new front office, it's everybody gets a bit of a reset, which can be good for you. And if you're someone from the old regime who had a lot of draft capital in you, they view you the same way they do everyone else. As many opportunities. If you perform, you get to play, and if you don't, you'll go to AAA and we'll find someone else who does.
It's a hard business sometimes.
Yeah, no charity in the big league.
Nunez takes a changeup down. It's 2-1. Nunez drew a walk in that big inning. Chopper to the right side. Beatty a long way to get it. Fast runner, and Minaya does not get there. Awkward play for the left-hander to try and look over his shoulder and receive that ball, and it seemed Nunez gets down the line as fast as anybody.
Sean looking in the dugout. Yeah, it's a difficult one for Sean. He's got to make sure he catches the ball, and he kind of has to lose visual of the base as well. And I would say, since he was going for the ball kind of at a straight angle, he didn't take it the way you normally would.
That's our challenge to the call at first base. Let's see. Did he get the bag? I don't know. It's hard to tell from that one. I mean, he definitely got there in time. The question is whether he actually touched the base.
Yeah.
Play under review presented by Citizens, making sense of the play. It was a better look.
Good one down the line.
Did he get that toe to the cushion?
I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's enough in it to overturn it.
Dan Iasonia and Adrian Johnson are the crew chiefs in the replay center this week. We were mentioning before about how much speed there is in this Nats lineup.
Yeah, you really see it showed off on that one, the way Nunez got down the line.
Let's blow it up and see if we can see any daylight between Sean's toe and the bag. Boy.
You can see him trying to lean into it.
Yeah, but he might have gotten there too late.
Try to kick save it late.
Ryan Walsh made the call at first base, and Bill Miller's on the headset, the crew chief, waiting for the adjudication. And every moment they wait, the rain comes closer.
Oh, the suspense is terrible, Billy.
When we were in LA last road trip, we went to a taping of Jeopardy, and I can hear the final Jeopardy music playing in my head when the umpires are waiting.
I can tell you, if you were at the Blue Claws Little League game in Jacksonville, you'll hear that sometimes on a pitching change or mound visit
right?
for the other team. Yeah, we like to poke the other ball club from time to time.
Well, Bill's nodding his head, but
after review, the call on the field stands. The runner is safe. New York will lose their challenge.
So it'll be an infield hit for Nasim Nunez. And the Nats have a 2-out base runner. Time is up. The pens are down. Zenat Ruiz. Looked like David Peterson was going to stifle the damage in the 4th inning when he struck out Ruiz. Bichette goes to short way and gets the force play, and that retires the side. We're halfway through. That's 9. Mets 1.
You can eat.
Home 5th inning with rain starting to fall. Bo Bichette leads off and finds the hole on the left side. And Bichette is aboard to start the bottom of the 5th. First time in this game the Mets have had the leadoff man on against Cade Cavalli.
Yeah, very nice, hard, clean single on a fastball. Maybe in off the plate, but Bo's so accurate he turns and pulls it hard through the 5-6 hole to get the inning leadoff with a base hit.
So that gets Juan Soto up with a runner aboard. Juan has already doubled and homered in this game. The home run was his 3rd of the year. And he takes a strike. 0-1. Juan now has extra base hits in 3 of his last 4 at bats. Game to be official with the road team leading, you need to play 5 full innings. So the Nats are 3 outs away from making this an official game. And I wonder during that last half inning, you know, if you're the Nats and you know that, is there anything that you would do at the plate to try and speed things up and get closer to that official game?
Yeah, I think from a strategy standpoint, it might be better for the team as a whole if you swung at earlier pitches, even if you got out. Now, the problem becomes I'm not going to do it. I would make somebody else do it first. I'm not just going to go in there and swing at whatever comes in there. But in theory, it makes sense. But
so it's a good team play, but not for me.
For you first.
Yeah.
Me next. It kind of reminds me in spring training they would do it sometimes where like you use the same bat the last day of spring training so you can get out of there and keep the game moving.
Everybody
uses
bat?
one bat. You just grab it. You leave it at home plate. I never had that in me. Take my own bat, my own plate appearance.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, spring training is different.
Spring training is different.
But here it all goes on your permanent record.
Forever. Your CV, yeah. Like death notices and marriage licenses. It's forever.
Especially the death notices. 2-1 to Soto. Grounded down at first and passed. Lead into right field for a base hit. So Soto is 3 for 3. Bichette goes on to 3rd. And the Mets have something working in the 5th. Well, the Mets are struggling, but Soto is not.
No, not struggling at all. You see him load up his punch, gets a fastball close to him and shoots that hole. Something I'm a huge fan of when lefties are able to get up with the runner on first base. Look at him. He just drives into the ball. His legs are so strong, and you can just see it's almost like he's doing a squat or a lunge in such a strong position when he gets done finishing through the hit. One more, to be honest with you, from a strategy standpoint, I would have considered not holding the runner on, perhaps. I know it's early in the game, but I would have more thought about taking away the hole and defending that than I would have, swinging at 0-0 no matter what.
Well, every moment that we continue to play, the rain gets a little bit harder. And it's supposed to get harder and harder and then rain all night. Now, keep in mind, it's not like the old days where if you didn't complete an official game, then the game got wiped out, and then you'd have to start from scratch. That doesn't happen anymore.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you finish short of an official game, then it becomes a suspended game, and you finish it tomorrow.
I remember that. I think that Aaron Hill one time hit a home run against us, and we end up having to start the game over because he hit it and we didn't pick it up. You started it over because it was before 5 innings.
Yeah, it's only a relatively recent phenomenon that all games that start have to be played to completion. But you can still have a rain-shortened game once it becomes official. Melendez fouls it off, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go and double check that. I'm almost certain Aaron Hill hit one because my heart hurt for him, even though it was good for us because the homer got taken away. But
if I recall, the rule got changed after that Phillies-Rays World Series where they tried to play through the rain because they didn't want the game to get wiped out. And then they figured, well, maybe we should make it that games don't get wiped out.
Yeah, we'll just make it a full rule.
And then they had to come back and play the last 4 innings of that game. for the Phillies to win the World Series.
Well, it's a completely different monster, a World Series game in relation to a regular season game of 162.
2-2 to Melendez with first and third and nobody out. And he pulls one off the glove of Meade. That's going to bring in a run. Everybody's safe. And now it's 9-2. Melendez with a hard grounder that ate up Curtis Meade. We'll see how they score it, but Bichette comes home. And the Mets have a run in with nobody out.
Yeah, Bullet in this one ties Meade up a little bit. I'm not entirely sure if he was thinking. He wouldn't have been thinking about going to second base. Would have liked to see him go at that with two hands a little bit longer, even if he ended up catching it with one. But Melendez hit it so hard he dragged him into the outfield.
Scored a base hit, so an RBI for Melendez, and now Alvarez will try and keep the line moving, and that's a call strike. That's a call that Kate Cavalli's people may well challenge.
They might challenge it.
There's a committee that rules on such things. It looked like a ball that he should have had. As a double play ball, Abrams goes to second for one. Nunez at the reach for the throw and turns it over nicely on Nunez with some acrobatics to turn that double play, and there are two out.
Yeah, here's the swing. Here's the double play from Abrams. He cooks it a little bit, gets it behind Nunez, but he takes it really well. The nice thing about Open and getting a chance to kind of get turned like that is he can use his shoulders to really get a little bit extra on the throw. There's Melendez going into the base, trying to get a piece of him, but Nunez protects himself pretty well against Melendez coming in trying to bust up the double play.
So two out, Soto at third, and now Beatty fouls back a first pitch fastball. So Cavalli sensing the finish line, at least in terms of his ability to qualify for a win. He has not yet registered a win this year. Needs to get 5 innings in for that purpose, as well as making it an official game. And now it's 0-2 to Beatty. Talking about suspended games. We had a game here a few years ago. Marcus Stroman started against the Marlins. It was in April, and it was raining, and they called the game with like 1 out in the first inning. Didn't make it up until the end of August. The game was held in abeyance for 4.5 months. It's the longest time of suspension in Major League history. Cavalli's thrown as many as 94 pitches in a game this year, up to 82 now. He has struck out 8 after fanning 10 in his last start. Trying to put this inning to bed. And Beatty goes down swinging on the breaking ball, and we now have an official game. 9 strikeouts for Cavalli, 9-2 Washington.
Papa John's.
6th inning, James Wood leads off against Sean Manaea. Wood had the turning point at bat in this game. It's dribbled up the line, and that'll kick foul. David Peterson looked like he was going to escape with only 1 run scoring in the 4th inning. He struck out Gabriel Ruiz with the bases loaded. He got ahead of Wood 0-2. At that point, it was a 3-1 Nats lead. But then he lost Wood to a walk. He left the game. Manaea came in, hit Curtis Meade with a pitch to force in a run, and then Brady House unloaded a grand slam, and the Nats were in the driver's seat.
Yeah, you really felt like when he got the strikeout of Ruiz, he was going to be able to wiggle off of it and getting ahead of Wood 0-2, but unfortunately wasn't able to get out of it. And then the big blow from Brady House to really extend and push the lead for the Nationals tonight.
And Wood drives one out to left. And right there is Melendez to make the catch, 1 out. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Sage, the official finance software partner of Major League Baseball. By Hyundai. Test drive a new Hyundai today only at your local Hyundai dealer. And by Optimum. Don't take slow for an answer. Get Optimum Fiber Internet. Visit Optimum.com for details. Curtis Mead pops him up in foul ground. Alvarez racing for it, but can't quite get there. Just not enough air under that ball. And it lands untouched for a foul ball strike.
Yeah, Francisco couldn't quite get over there and make the type of play that Millis made yesterday on the other side of the field.
That was an extraordinary
it was a great play. Got a chance to see it on the highlights last night as well, too.
Mead had a base hit and scored a run in the first. Hit by a pitch, drove in a run, and scored a run in the fourth. Back to a sweeper, misses 2 balls and a strike. David Peterson lasted just 3 2/3 innings. He was charged with 7 runs on 5 hits. Has worked an inning and 2/3 in relief. He's given up 2 runs. High changeup, and Mead can't catch up with it. It's 2-2. Brady House, who has the big blow, a grand slam, waits on deck. Playing in light rain. It's taken outside by Mead, 3-2. It's pulled just fair over the bag and down the line. It hits off the tarp. Mead's going to try for 2. The throw by Melendez is offline. Beatty backs it up. It's a double for Curtis Mead. Good throw, and Melendez might have had a shot at him.
Yeah, it looks like he would have had a chance at in Mead right there if he was able to get it to Marcus, but a little bit offline. Here's a swing from Mead. Ball was running in off the plate, able to keep it fair. Oh, right on the chalk. And then here's the throw from Melendez. Had to feel like he had a chance to get him, but just wavered a little bit to the right. Good backup from Brett Beatty. You can't see it in your shot, but Carson Bench had come down to back up the throw from right field as well, too. A good picture of all the little leaguers out there. Always somewhere to be. Always somewhere to be in every batted ball.
Responsibility on any given play is not stand there and watch.
No, get somewhere to be. I had one time that I did it every single game. I would back up when I was in DC. I did it in New York too, but I would back up first base when I was at second on like balls like 6-3s and 5-3s, and I waited and waited, and I finally got Hosey. One ball got thrown away and it bounced right to me off of the netting, and I had Hosey dead to rights. All I had to do,
Reyes.
Hosey Reyes, and I threw it and bounced past it, and I hit him right in the middle of the back. He would have been out by 30 feet. I can't tell you how upset I was. I backed up home first base probably 100 times, and finally had my buddy dead, and I couldn't get it to him.
And did you continue to do it after that?
Yeah, I did. No, it's more of an early swing, but here you can see as Mead is rounding first, you can see Carson was slamming down here to back up a possible play at second base on the double. Yep, here you go. There's Mead to second. You see Carson coming in, and then you can see Beatty here as he sees the throw too. You can have 2 people backing up.
So Manaea walks House, and now there are 2 men on. And C.J. Abrams, who's 2 for 3 tonight, a single, a double. He's driven in a run. Abrams came into the night with a 3 for 35 slump weighing him down, but he's broken out tonight. And he takes first pitch fastball for a strike. There's a good sweeper, and it's 0-2 to Abrams.
You said he's 3 for his last 39 coming into this?
He was 3 for 35.
35. Yeah. And he's still OPS at 900?
Yeah, we got off to a great start.
Yeah.
This entire Nats offense has been in gear this year. 9 runs today, but came in averaging 5.2 runs per game for the season. It's almost 2 runs per game more than the Mets. That's hit sharply through the hole, and a base hit for Abrams, his 3rd hit of the night. Mead around 3rd, he's heading home. The throw by Benj is up the line. Throw down to 2nd, and the tag by Mauricio is too late. And Abrams gets in safely. It's 10-2 Washington. Abrams with his 3rd hit and 2nd RBI of the night. Takes 2nd on the throw.
Yeah, here's the breaking ball to CJ. He's able to drive it into right field through the 3-4 hole. Carson comes up throwing to home plate. Riley airmails the cutoff man more than he wants, and Francisco's unable to get CJ out at second base as he takes 2nd on the throw. Here's a swing from CJ. You can see him kind of recognize the breaking ball, kind of stall his swing just a little bit to let the ball back up, since the breaking ball isn't as fast as the fastball, and be able to still be strong enough to drive it into right field for a base hit.
So Abrams with a 3-hit night, 10 hits overall for the Nats. Now it's 10-2, and the Mets will bring the infield in. Jacob Young, the batter, and he breaks his bat as he slashes one foul. That will be of no use to him anymore.
No, I bet you could find a fan and give it to it and make their whole season.
You know what happens to broken bats now, don't you?
No, what happens?
They get authenticated,
yeah,
and then sold.
Yeah, I mean they would do that too, but dude, you could still give it. You could still give it away before it gets to him.
You could.
Yeah.
But then, you know, somebody in the marketing department might get angry.
Well, that's all right. That's not a record. It'd be, you know, it's enough to give it to a kid. You could be angry on this one, but still find a fan to give it to.
Ball and a strike to Jacob Young. And baseball has evolved in so many ways. There was a time in baseball where players were not allowed to give balls to the fans. They were supposed to preserve every ball. You couldn't throw a ball to a fan during batting practice. You couldn't toss the 3rd out into the crowd. You get fined for that. Then they started encouraging players to do more of that. But they found ways to sell game-used items as well.
If I remember correctly, Ike Davis used to buy his own bats for that specific reason, that the team couldn't take it, authenticate it, and sell it, because the team buys your bat. So like I show up to spring training, all the bats that I have are purchased by the club, and I'm pretty sure Ike would buy his own bat. So he would go and grab a broken bat and he'd put it in his locker.
And then what would he do with it? It's popped up into shallow right, a long run in from Benj, and he gets there to make the catch, and the runners have to hold. Yeah.
I love Ike, so I'm going to say that he signed it and gave it to a fan.
That's
a child,
tremendous.
because Ike's my guy.
So you're saying he wasn't selling them himself?
No, not at all. He'd be giving those away. Here comes Carson in, playing hard here, even though down fairly big here late in the game, but makes a good play coming in. Tough one. And that situation with the infield plate in, it's a lot more ground for him to cover. Usually with the infield plate back, Marcus would probably have a little bit better chance at being able to get to that pop-up.
Now the infield backs up with 2 outs, and Dylan Lyle takes outside. Alvarez will challenge the call. Is that our first challenge?
Challenging the call of ball.
I think this one's a little off. Nope, I was wrong.
Pitching
Wins
to
that
strike,
challenge.
1-1.
ABS powered by T-Mobile.
New York has 2 remaining challenges.
Shows what I know. I was 0 for 1 challenging in AAA as well too, so I'm not the best at it.
Were the rules there the same as they are here? 2 challenges per team?
Yes. I did. I challenged it, and the catcher looked at me, and he kind of gave me the shake of the head, like, you're wrong. I was like, oh, dang it. Nowhere to run now. I'm on display.
Well, you were the celebrity ex-big leaguer. Would you ever be in favor of full ABS? Take the home plate umpire out of the equation completely?
Not because I want to get rid of the umpires, but because I think that the strike zone would be truer to kind of the rule book. I'm okay either way. I think if you were going to do the ABS full time, you would need to be able to do it in a way that keeps the game moving. You know, which I'm certain that they would do. Major League Baseball.
They've tried it in AAA. They play 1 week with the challenge system and 1 week with the full ABS. And from all the surveys I saw, players were very much opposed to full ABS because they felt as though it just robotized the game too much.
And I'm okay with that too.
2-2 coming. Swing and a miss. Nye gets himself out of traffic with his 4th strikeout. That's tack on a run and lead 10-2. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning at Rainy City Field. Tyrone Taylor leads off against Cade Cavalli. Cavalli's already struck out 9 through the first 5 innings. He got Taylor in the 1st inning with the bases loaded. Tyrone had an infield hit in the 4th, 1 for 2. Well, the Mets have Nolan McLean, who was a 2-way player at Oklahoma State. Cade Cavalli went to OU as a 2-way player.
Oh. Do you know what position he played?
I'm not sure, but I know he had a rough offensive year his freshman season, as Nunez goes a long way out to get that pop up from Taylor. And
Nunez made that look easy.
Yeah, he's a special defender.
He even waved off the right fielder to let him know he had it in his pocket. Yeah, here's the swing on a breaking ball away. Tyrone gets it off the end. You kind of see Nunez wave him off. I got this the whole way. I can tell you, Gary, I never did that on that ball. You didn't know I had it until I had it.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Carson Bench. Yeah, so Cavalli gave up the 2-way thing after his freshman year. His dad also went to OU. His dad Brian. He was a catcher who played briefly in the Angels system. So he had a little non-pitcher bloodline.
Nice battery. So his dad played professionally. James Wood, dad, Long Island leading scorer in basketball. These guys, old men can play.
Bench goes down on 3 pitches. Good changeup by Cavalli to get him. That's 10 strikeouts for the 2nd consecutive start for Cavalli.
Yeah, Cavalli gets him on a changeup right here. And pitch he hasn't thrown a lot leading into this game, but he's thrown quite a few today, as Gary said earlier. And Carson's unable to get a piece of it. It's just fading down and away from him with really good arm action from Cavalli.
Now Marcus Semien, who had a base hit up the middle in the 4th, 1 for 2 on the night. Dave Freed tells me Cavalli played 1st and 3rd base before he concentrated on pitching.
He's a big boy. I could see him as a corner infielder. I bet he did some damage as a high school hitter as well.
Growing up in Tulsa. High-speed hitting. Well, it's been all Nats tonight. James Wood with the hardest hit ball of the night. That was the first batter of the game. But Grady House has the biggest hit, his first career grand slam. Semien lines a base hit, and Marcus has his 2nd hit of the night. Cavalli got a curveball up, and Semien hammers it into left for an 0-2 hit.
Yes, he does. Here's the knuckle curve from Cavalli. He's throwing this one's further up in the zone that he would prefer with 2 strikes, and Marcus makes him pay for it. Centers it and is able to get it right over C.J. Abrams' head for a base hit into left field.
So now here's Mauricio, who really struggled in his first 2 at-bats against Cavalli's breaking ball. This is what they say, if you haven't proved that you can hit it, I'm going to keep throwing it.
That's where we're at. I remember, who is it now? Oh, I've forgotten. Oh, he pitched for the Cardinals and the Angels. Oh, I'm forgetting the starting pitcher's name. Oh, but he said, if you don't hit it, I'm going to keep throwing it to you. Oh, man, now I've forgotten his name. Yeah, John Lackey. Thank you. John Lackey. He said that if you don't hit what I throw, I'll keep throwing it to you. Even if you hit it hard, we'll keep throwing it.
Even if you hit it 110 miles an hour at somebody?
If you're out, you'll keep throwing it.
He makes contact with the changeup and pulls it foul. So you figure Cavalli goes right back to the curveball?
A couple times.
Cionel Perez is up in the Nats bullpen. One of 4 lefties the Nats have in their bullpen. Threw him a fastball.
Sometimes the pitchers and the catchers kind of outthink themselves.
Ronnie calls it double think.
It's a good way to describe it, because the batters will tell you what we're seeing and what we're not.
And there's the breaking ball, and Mauricio hits it hard out to left, but Lyle retreats to get it. That's a nice adjustment by Mauricio, but it's the 3rd out of the inning. On to the 7th, 10-2 Nats.
Get more.
7th inning, 10-2 Washington. As we continue to play in the rain, Sean Manaea continues on the mound. He's worked 2 1/3 in relief. Joey Wiemer, the first man up against him in the 7th. And the sweeper is fouled off, 0-2. Wiemer had an RBI infield hit in the 4th. That was the first of the 7 runs that the Nats scored in the 4th inning to break this game open. Fans came well equipped tonight, where they got wet. That's drilled to deep left. Back goes Melendez. Can't get it. It's over his head. And Wiemer will go to second base with a double. Melendez gave it a nice effort and almost got to it. But Wiemer has his second hit of the night.
Yeah, here's Melendez going after it. He gets a real big piece of it. Just unable to quite corral it and bring it in. A well-struck ball from Wiemer. Oh, full extension. Oh, good effort. Here's fastball from Manaea. Just pulls it into the middle of the plate a little bit more than he'd like, and Wiemer makes him pay with 2 strikes.
And Nasim Nunez, who had an infield hit his last time up, 1 for 2 and a walk tonight. .106 on the exit velocity on Wiemer's ball.
106 at that trajectory will get you paid out almost every time.
Well, the expected batting average is .630.
Yeah, I bet, and then the slug's going to be up there as well too. That's a lot of doubles.
And that's a 4-pitch walk to Nunez, and that puts 2 men on. Second walk for Manaea. As his pitch count starts to get up there. There's nobody throwing behind him in the Mets bullpen. I think the Mets right now would be happy with the deluge that ends this game. Saving some pitching.
Glass half full would save you some pitching if it held this way and you head into the rubber match tomorrow.
It's not raining hard enough, though, for the umpires to stop the game. Well, it's been a steady rain the last couple of innings. There's Gabriel Ruiz is 0 for 3, and he takes back to a sweeper for a strike. Was there anything as a player that bothered you about playing in the rain?
Yeah, I was just thinking that the droplets that would come off the brim of your helmet, it was hard to see the drops and the baseball, and so you try to go and I would try to wipe it off, you know, to get it nice and clean, but sometimes you would have it just leak as the ball was coming in. It was a pretty tough IQ test to pick which one of those you wanted to look at.
Well, if you can read the spin on a slider, can you read the spin on a raindrop?
It isn't coming down too awful hard just yet, because you can really tell, because it'll really start dripping off the front of their helmets.
There's no question the color of the infield has changed. It's gotten darker as the game has gone along. This field, though, drains so well.
One of the nicest playing surface, if not the nicest playing surface I ever played on. I love the clay here.
Gabriel Ruiz, the only Nat in the lineup who has not reached base safely tonight. Batting here with 2 on and nobody out. And he pops one up in foul ground. That'll go out of play. do you think those folks came here with their Mets ponchos all in a row? I mean, they're ready to go.
They're here for the long haul.
Ready for a night at the ballpark with the precipitation. Fly ball out to left. Melendez started in. Now eases back. And that's the first out. Storylines in the National League East, you ask? Well, the Braves have the best record in the major leagues, despite all the pitching injuries they've suffered through. Marlins just beat the Dodgers 2 days in a row. Bullpen has a lot to do with that. Nats are young. They've played much better this year. Phillies have fired their manager. And the Mets continue to stumble along. Win last night and getting blown out so far tonight. James Wood has been on base twice with a walk and a single. He's driven in a run. So we talked about his dad earlier, Kenny, who was the all-time leading scorer in Long Island. Kenny had that honor for 20 years, but he is now 4th on the Long Island basketball high school scoring list. That's drilled into right center for a base hit for Wood. That's going to split him and go all the way back to the wall. Weimer is in. Nunez cruising around third. He'll score easily. A 2-run double for James Wood. He's got a 3 RBI night. And the Nats now lead 12-2. James Wood came into the night with the highest average exit velocity of any player in the majors, and this one did not hurt his average.
Yeah, he's going to add to it. Here's a breaking ball. Ends up right in the middle, and James Wood. This is the one he knows hit hard. You can hear it, but as Marcus jumps for it, it's hit so hard that it skips all the way to the wall. It splits the gap. Weaver's going to score easily. And then you'll see on the backside Nunez coming in. I'll tell you what, Nunez gets going, but he kind of cruises a little bit more than I thought he was going to. Take your time. Are they going to send me? Yes, they do. No play.
No energy wasted.
Here's the swing from Wood on a breaking ball again, right in the middle. Gets real good extension. Finishes it through right center field.
Sean Manaea out. Carl Edwards in. 12-2 Nats in the 7th. We'll be right back. Carl Edwards made his Mets debut on Sunday. 3 1/3 hitless innings against the Rockies in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Now makes his second appearance tonight, facing Curtis Mead, who takes a strike. Mead has a single, a double. He's been hit by a pitch. He's driven one in. He's scored 3. The Nationals 12 runs and 12 hits. The Mets 2 runs and 8 hits. And the curveball hit sharply. Nice backhand stop, Mauricio. That saved a run. No chance to get Mead, who has his 3rd hit of the night. But it keeps Wood from scoring. And Ronnie left some skid marks after that one.
Yeah, replace your divot. Here goes Ronnie. Off the heel of the glove, so he's unable to kind of secure it in there and see if he could get the throw off to try to get Mead. But like you said, it's a good job keeping it on the infield. It does prevent the run from scoring.
13 hits now for Washington. Here's Brady House, who has the biggest one, a grand slam in the 4th inning to cap a 7-run uprising. So Edwards, after going 3 1/3 without giving up a hit his first time out, gives up a hit to the first man he faces tonight. Carl has been around the block, including some time spent with the Nationals. Mets are now his 9th major league team.
Former teammate of mine, Chicago in 2018.
Oh, how about that? That's where he started his career. Carl told me that after all the years of relieving, he felt as though he was too expendable. So a couple of winters ago, he decided that he wanted to be a starter and told his agent to find teams that would let him start. And he did in the minors with the Angels, and then he went to the Mexican Winter League and did some starting there. Then when he was released last summer by the Angels, he went to the Mexican Summer League and started more games there. He strikes out House to end the inning. And now he's a guy who's stretched out and given the Mets some length. That's the 2nd out of the inning. First strikeout for Edwards. 2 out and C.J. Abrams.
Well, I think
up.
that's pretty cool at the ownership he took of his career. Like, I want to start. I don't like how things are going as a reliever. I'm going to lengthen out myself. So I'm sure he spent the winter lengthening himself out and then went where he could find some work in the Mexican Winter League.
There's C.J. Abrams, who already has 3 hits tonight, and he takes up and in for ball 1. Carl was starting games in Syracuse when the Mets called him up, and so he was able to throw 49 pitches his first time out. You know, the way the Mets bullpen is constructed right now with Minaya and Edwards, and to a lesser extent Tobias Myers in the bullpen, you've got guys who can act like starters pitching in relief.
Yeah, multiple innings. And as you were saying yesterday, it's kind of that's where the game is heading right now, with the bullpen needing the ability to go multiple innings as starting pitching doesn't quite go as long as it used to.
I mean, we saw it last night with the Nats. Brad Lord is a starting pitcher working out of the pen. They've got Mitchell Parker, who was a starter last year, working out of the bullpen. And a 4-pitch walk to Abrams, who's on base for the 4th time. And that'll load him up. 6 walks now for Met pitchers. They've also given up 13 hits. Cianel Perez has been working in the Washington bullpen. Looks like he's coming in for the bottom of the 7th. Jacob Young at the plate. Young is 0 for 3 and a walk. He drove in a run with a ground out in the 1st inning. There's the ball where Beatty knocked it down and was then able to field it cleanly and make a play at the plate.
Yeah, didn't give himself a chance at the plate. Ended up having to go 3 unassisted for the out.
Nats got 2 in that 1st inning. Soto got 1 back with a home run in the 3rd, and it's been all Washington ever since. 7-run 4th inning to put this game away. That's lined up the middle, a base hit for Young. Wood comes in to score. Meade will move up a base. It's bobbled in center field by Taylor, but Meade had already slammed on the brakes. So Young tacks on a run with his 2nd RBI of the night, and it's 13-2. And the carnage continues to increase.
Yeah, Jacob Young gets a cutter that's a little bit up in the zone more than Carl Edwards would appreciate, and gets a base hit right back through the middle. And as you said, they slammed the brakes on. Is that Joey Wiemer over there at first base? Or no, that's not. It's Meade. Forgive me.
Alvarez out to the mound to try and be of some counsel to Edwards, who's faced 4 batters, given up 2 hits and a walk. 3 runs home in this 7th inning, and it just gets uglier and uglier. No more mound visits.
That's it, all on your own from here on out. Unless we get extra innings, right?
Or a downpour. It's only felt like rain. Dylan Lyle will be the 9th man up in the inning. 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts for Lyle tonight. And he takes the first pitch curveball for a strike. And sent 11 men to the plate in the 4th inning. Now 9 men up in the 7th. Peterson got charged with the first 7 runs. Minaya with the next 5. Or 6. Losing count. Lyle strikes out to end the inning, but the Nats tack on 3 and lead it 13-2.
.org today.
Cianel Perez, the left-hander, comes in to pitch for Washington. Jose Tena comes in to play second base. Now Nasim Nunez will move over to shortstop. And Bo Bichette leads off for the Mets in the bottom of the 7th. Bichette 1 for 3 tonight. He slashes 1 foul. So Cade Cavalli went 6 innings, 2 runs, 8 hits, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. But what's most impressive about Cade Cavalli in this game, he got the big lead, and the last 24 pitches he threw, all strikes.
All strikes. I heard you talking about that off the air.
That is the most consecutive strikes thrown by any pitcher in the majors this year.
As a defender, when you get a lead like that, you give it to a pitcher and you see him attack the zone in that way, it absolutely warms your heart, gets you ready to defend for them because they recognize what's going on in the game. That's one got away a little bit.
Yeah, almost hit the Bull mascot.
Sure did. Spray it. But you really appreciate that as a position player when your pitcher recognizes what's going on, got a bigger lead, gets in the zone. Not too dissimilar from what Clay Holmes did last night.
Before Cavalli threw 24 straight strikes, the longest streak in the majors this year belonged to Seth Lugo, who had thrown 19 straight strikes for Kansas City. And Bichette slashes another 1 foul. Cionel Perez, one-time workhorse of the Orioles bullpen. He had some great years in Baltimore. Best year was in 2022. 66 games, a 1.40 ERA.
That's really good work.
Struggled last year with the Orioles and now bounces to the other side of the Beltway. Or the Baltimore-Washington Turnpike, to be more precise. Different Beltway. Soto on deck, Melendez behind him. With the rain continuing to fall, 8th pitch to Bichette, and he pokes one to short. Nunez to his left. He is so athletic. One away. Hey kids, you can join us in the booth to call a half inning of the Mets game on SNY. Parents, scan the code and submit your child's video for a chance to win the 2026 SNY Kid Capture Contest presented by HSS. Well, hasn't been much to root for in this game if you're a Mets fan, but Juan Soto is a triple away from the cycle.
What kind of ball do you think he would need to hit right now to go for 3?
I think he'd need to hit one off the wall in left center, then caroms away from Jacob Young toward right center.
Yeah, I think it would need to be something like that. A carom or someone falling down. Now, I'm not playing left field, so it might make it a little bit more difficult, but I don't know if he's going to end up hitting a ball that he stretches into 3.
Soto has 16 career triples, only 1 since joining the Mets. That was last year. Doubled his first time up tonight, then homered and singled. The last Mets cycle was Eduardo Escobar. That was in 2022. That was in San Diego, right? Fly ball center field. Let's see. Now it's going to come up shy of the track.
Pretty good effort at it.
See, that's what we're looking for right there. Something off the angle right near the C and City.
Juan hits to the scoreboard. He certainly does. He knows where his triples are.
That's the second out. First time Soto's been retired tonight. And now we'll get Austin Slater to make his Mets debut as a pinch hitter. Slater was just added to the roster after Sunday's game when Tommy Pham was designated for assignment. By the way, Pham was outrighted and then declared free agency. So Slater's first at bat as a Met, 33-year-old from Jacksonville, Florida.
Yes, Bowles High School, then Stanford. What, college? What is it, University of Stanford? There we go, University of Stanford. I don't want to short the Cardinal. They're smart out there.
Played last year with the White Sox and the Yankees. I was commenting in the clubhouse today that Slater is an experienced enough player that he has an empty locker next to his.
He gets to spread out a little bit.
It's all about the guys with seniority. Started out with the Giants, where he played his first 8 years. Always has been a specialist against left-handed pitching. He can run a little bit. Lifetime 247 hitter, 45 home runs. And he slices one out to right. Chasing Weaver back a few strides, and he's got it. 1-2-3 inning for Ciano Perez. Off to the 8th we go, 13-2.
Game.
And a high fly ball, deep left center. Back goes Melendez near the wall, and it's out of here. A grand slam for Brady House, and the roof caves in on the Mets in the 4th inning. Because the guys in the truck felt as though you really wanted to see that again.
Yeah, none of the Mets fans wanted to see that more than once.
Joey Weaver will lead off for the Nats in the 8th. Takes a big hack hit a Carl Edwards fastball. Edwards came in and gave him a couple of hits and a walk in 2/3 of an inning in the 7th. Though maybe we'd see a position player on the mound for the Mets in the 8th. Perhaps that will happen in the 9th.
I understand if we do, but I'm hopeful we don't, Gary.
We have seen Luis Torrens pitch effectively before. I mean, why not? He's got the arm to throw guys out at second base, but he doesn't throw hard.
He just lays it in there.
They all do.
Yeah.
Austin Slater, after pinch hitting, stays in the game and left. Weaver takes the letter high strike, and it's 2-2. There's Luis, not warming up his pitching arm yet, but he's going hard on the bubble gum.
Yeah. Joe Golia sighting next to him, my trainer in Double-A.
Just a bit outside. Weaver, then Nunez and Ruiz for the Nats in the 8th. Washington 13 runs, 14 hits. The Mets 2 runs and 8 hits. So we've had you here for 2 days, Murph. And
we haven't had a close ball game yet.
7-run 4th innings, one aside.
Yeah, these things have darn near been over before they started the last 2 nights. Hopefully tomorrow we can get ourselves a good rubber match.
That's a left. Freddie Peralta going tomorrow against Miles Michaelis. And strike 3 call. Can't be observing at this point in the game. 3rd strikeout for Edwards, and we check in with the studio. Gary Apple and Jerry Blevins are coming up. Gentlemen.
All right, Gary, we take you. Mercedes-Benz postgame live on the way. It's a step forward and then 2 steps back.
Yeah, what felt like a big start for David Peterson to get back into that rotation. It looks like that was a 2 steps back kind of moment.
We'll see you guys on the postgame show, Gary.
Alcides Nunez takes curveball for ball 1. You know, I was watching Gary and Jerry in the studio on the pregame show today, and they were sitting at the desk for part of the show, but then they did a stand-up together. And I'm thinking, you know, Gary is not a small man, but next to Jerry, he needs some elevator shoes or something.
Yeah, because Jerry will kind of sneak attack you a little bit. Like, he's lean and fit, but then you go and stand next to him and you forget how tall he is.
He's 9 feet tall. It's like standing next to a giraffe. 1-2 to Nunez. And he got him looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Edwards. The diehards hanging out in the rain. Team down by 11 runs in the 8th inning. They're not going anywhere.
They'll drag them through the finish line if they have to.
Now all their friends will be texting them.
You're famous.
Gabriel Ruiz still trying to get on the board. He's got 0 for 4 tonight. So you're the guy who hasn't gotten on base all night when your entire team is raking.
Yep. You try as hard as you can to get a base hit here, but then also you put on your good teammate face should you not, because the job has been done. You're going to win the ball game.
You get a little razzing from your teammates?
No, you don't get poked too much on something like that, because everybody's been there before, and like even as you win the ball game, you're happy, but it does come with like a little bit of like I would have liked to have contributed a little bit more offensively.
Maxim Schultz up in the bullpen for the Nats. So mentioned Freddie Peralta goes for the Mets tomorrow. Miles Michaelis, who has really struggled, will be going for the Nats. Nats starting pitching has been their Achilles heel, but Cade Cavalli gave them 6 good innings today after Zach Littell got whacked around yesterday.
And this is what you acquired Freddie for in the offseason. Give him a rubber match here early in the season and a really important series to try to get the team some momentum going forward.
Wonder if he's back getting some rest.
That's a good question.
I know the Mets are sending Christian Scott out early to Anaheim tomorrow before the team leaves to get him some rest before his Friday night start. Here's Christian called up to take Kodai Senga's spot on the roster. And he'll make his 2nd start of the year Friday. Swing and a miss, and Carl Edwards strikes out the side in the top of the 8th. Right-hander Paxton Schultz will pitch the 8th inning. I see nothing. I know nothing. Francisco Alvarez leads off for the Mets in the 8th. Ciano Perez worked a 1-2-3-7. Now Schultz in the 8th. Alvarez has struck out twice and grounded into a double play. His difficult homestand continues, just 3 for 26 on this homestand, which will have its 9th and final affair tomorrow. Schultz made his big league debut with Toronto last year. That's got him on waivers. Originally drafted by the Brewers in the 14th round out of UVU, Utah Valley University, in his hometown of Orem, Utah.
All right, now I think they have a minor league team in Orem, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to guess that. I think it's a short season team. Right now with Alvarez, this is I don't know if he'll be in there tomorrow, but here in the first 2 games of this series, they've thrown him everything has been away. Breaking balls away, fastballs away, everything on the outer edge of the plate.
Brett Beatty on deck, then Tyrone Taylor for the Mets in the 8th. Nobody throwing in the Mets bullpen, so do we think Edwards gets another inning, or do the Mets send a position player out to pitch the 9th?
I'm going to guess position player.
Luis Torrens, you're on the outside corner, and Alvarez strikes out looking for the 3rd time tonight.
Third backwards looking strikeout tonight for Alvarez. All 3 of them on pitches on the edge away on the corner. Here he is. It's a good pitcher's pitch at the same time with 2 strikes. I can only speak for myself. I'm gonna leave here swinging is probably the best way I can describe it.
Brett Beatty, and Beatty lofts one into left field for a base hit. And Beatty snaps an 0 for 12 stretch with a first pitch opposite field single.
Good piece of hit by Brett. He gets a cutter middle in, and as you can see, as he goes to hit, he's going to kind of suck his hands in just a little bit, but he's able to hit a line drive, even though it's not his hardest hit ball. Line drive over the shortstop, drop it into space right and left center field.
That's with their 9th hit of the night, and now Tyrone Taylor, who has one of them, an infield hit in the 4th, 1 for 3. Beatty not being held on. Unofficial rules saying you're not supposed to run in this spot.
Yeah, you stay put here.
The reason why the unwritten rules are not codified is because the unwritten rules keep changing.
They do. They do keep changing. I'm not sure what to do. Don't know when do you bunt in certain situations, when do you take a base. Ouch.
Up the middle, and Taylor's got his 2nd hit of the night. So the Mets have 2 men aboard in the 8th. Double digits in hits, but still down by 11 runs.
Here's the pitch. Middle fastball. And just drives it right back through the box. Always stay on the ball from Tyrone Taylor. Well struck base hit by him to give him his second base hit of the night.
106 miles an hour off the bat. There's Carson Bench, 0 for 3 tonight, a fly out and 2 strikeouts. And he grounds one on the right side. Tena gets the out at second, and Nunez hangs on to it. 4-6 fielder's choice for the second out. And now Luis Torrens is going to bat for Marcus Semien, which makes me think that he'll be pitching at the top of the ninth.
Get him entered into the game.
Semien went 2 for 3.
2 clean line drive base hits for Marcus this evening.
First and third, 2 out, and Torrens takes a fastball strike. Torrens will likely catch tomorrow, with Alvarez having caught the first 2 games of this series. Torrens has been terrific through his career as a pinch hitter.
Won a ball game earlier this year in San Francisco off the bench, didn't he?
Certainly did. Opposite field double. And he takes that one on the ground to the right side. Tena makes the play. Side retired. Off to the ninth we go. Now Luis Torrens, after pinch hitting, will not pitch. He'll play first base for the first time as a Met. Be the 7th game in his career at first base, his first since 2021. Brett Beatty moves over to second. Carl Edwards will stay on for the ninth.
Yeah, try to get his walkie-talkie sorted at first base.
Got it hanging down rather awkwardly. James Wood has the hardest hit ball in this game. 115-mile-an-hour double to right center that drove in 2 runs in the 7th. Got the antenna sticking out and the whole thing. And Wood takes a strike, and it's 2-2. Wood has a single, a double, a walk. He's scored 3. He's driven in 3. Full night's work for James Wood. And Edwards misses upstairs with the curveball, and it's 3-2. David Peterson started, went 3 2/3, 7 runs, 5 hits. Sean Manaea 2 2/3, 6 runs, 7 hits. And Edwards strikes out Wood. That's 5 consecutive strikeouts for Carl Edwards. He spans 6 in relief. Mets have struck out 15 batters tonight. Honda Sports Night comes your way after the post-game show. Lots more from this game. Get you ready for the Knicks trying to wrap up their series with the Hawks. Lots more on Honda Sports Night tonight and every night on SNY.
You could see with Carl Edwards, his ball doesn't necessarily cut a lot, but it's got kind of cut shape to it where it takes like a little bit of a left-hand turn, and it helps it really have. Curtis
Mead lifts that curveball to deep left center, and that's going to go out of here. Curtis Mead with his 4th home run of the year, his 4th hit of the night. To provide the window dressing for the Nationals, it's now 14-2. The extra point, as it were.
Yeah. To the safety.
2 singles, a double, and now a home run for Mead. Having himself a big night.
Yeah, that one came off the bat at 99, so it wasn't like the hardest hit ball, but he got a breaking ball that it's going to have the spin built into it, so it carried a little bit better through the left center field gap. There's contact, really good connected position. You can kind of see the length at which his arm is, and then again he's got a full swing through it on the breaking ball. Those breaking balls just seem to go further. They carry.
Second home run of the night for the Nats, and for Curtis Mead, his first career 4-hit game. Good changeup by Edwards, and it's 1-2. So a lot of Nats hitters getting healthy tonight. 14 runs and 15 hits. They're taking big swings. Brady House hit the grand slam back in the 4th inning, first of his career. This is going to be the 200th pitch thrown by a Met tonight. And the breaking ball hit out to right center, and Bench has it lined up. And House retired 2 out. It's the most pitches the Mets have thrown in any game this year. 13 runs are the most they've allowed in a game this year.
And you're right, they're getting their cuts in right now with the way that those breaking balls that Carl's leaving a little bit higher than he wanted. You feel him getting loose like that and really taking big swings on you. You can always go inside and see if you can straighten him up. Could get you ready for tomorrow as well too in this final game of this 3-game set.
So P.J. Poulin up in the bullpen for the Nats. Looks like he'll get the bottom of the 9th. Nats with 14 runs and 15 hits. C.J. Abrams has 3 hits. 2 singles and a double. He's driven in 2 runs. He's also drawn a walk. Not a fun night to be the pitching coach.
No, not at all. Went out there, tried to settle Peterson down, but was unable to help him get through it. Be an atom ball.
Right at Slater, who picks it off for the 3rd out. Meade's home run makes it 14-2 with 3 outs to go. And now the Phillies are down to their final strike. He struck him out. 5 Met pitchers combined for the 2nd no-hitter in New York Mets history. 4 years ago tonight, Tyler McGill started it. Edwin Diaz finished it. James McCann caught it.
That second one, and like 5 pitchers to go no hit is.
I think they threw 150 pitches that night.
Really, to get through it. I mean, that just for each one of them to be feeling so good and so locked in to kind of just hand it over to the next guy and keep it moving is. You understand when Johan gets in a rhythm, and even though he threw about 145 pitches in his, but he got in a rhythm and was able to get through it. But to be a little bit more disjointed and go to the bullpen 4 times and still be able to no-hit the Phillies is quite a feat.
Ronnie Mauricio gets his first right-handed plate appearance of the year, facing P.J. Poulin in the bottom of the 9th. Ronnie's gone 0 for 3 today. Fouls off the changeup, and it's 1-2. Mauricio, Bichette, and Soto due up in the 9th. 159 pitches that the 5 pitchers threw in that no-hitter. Matt Mauricio chases another changeup for strike 3, and that's the first out in the bottom of the 9th. 12 strikeouts for Nat pitchers. So 1 out and nobody on now. Bo Bichette. Don't forget it's a day game tomorrow. 1:10 first pitch. Freddie Peralta against Miles Michaelis before the Mets head out on a 9-game road trip that begins Friday night in Anaheim. Angels are having problems of their own. They just got swept by the White Sox and have lost 6 in a row. But they'll have an off day tomorrow, and the Mets will not. Inside the Bichette, ball 1. Angels went 0-6 on their just completed road trip after a really nice start. They're now 12-20 on the year. On the ground to the right side, and Tena with a nice sliding stop throws him out from his knees. Beautifully done by Jose Tena. 2 out. All-State good hands replay.
Yeah, really, and a difficult play because his hand is going to be wet from the grass. So to be able to get the ball in his throwing hand, secure it enough to be able to deliver a nice, solid, strong throw to the first baseman. It's not the easiest play when you start getting your hand gets wet, the ball gets wet as well.
Well, one more chance for Juan Soto to get his triple. He's got a single, double, and home run tonight. Flied out to center field his last time up. One bright spot for the Mets. Soto really swinging the bat well right now. Well, the Mets had what looked like a soft schedule early on. I would say that with an asterisk, though, only because of this. The Mets' first 2 road trips have both taken them to the West Coast, and they're going back to the West Coast on Friday. That is not easy.
No, the travel schedule early in the season has been wild to watch you guys as you've been on the circuit. To head out west that many times this early in the year is wild.
3 in a row, and 4 of their first 5 going to California. That's drilled to deep right field. Weimer goes back, and he's got it on the warning track, and that's how this one ends. Soto coming up a few feet shy as the Nats obliterate the Mets 14-2 to even up this series at a game apiece.
Yeah, Mets just unable to finish off that 4th inning, and that ends up being the difference. 4th inning in both games as we started this series, and they'll be looking to win the series tomorrow with Freddie Peralta going. You'd like to wish it wasn't a laugher like this, but sleep fast and get ready to win a series tomorrow.
We'll get you a close game yet, Daniel.
Prove it.
New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Genesis. Discover the award-winning lineup of Genesis SUVs and sedans at your local Tri-State Genesis retailer. By Citizens, make sense of your money with Citizens. By Tunnel to Towers, donate $11 a month and amplify your impact with the Car Orlando Nation at T2T.org. And by your local Honda dealers, contact your local Honda dealer today. Final score tonight, the Nats 14, the Mets 2. Rubber game of the series tomorrow. 1:10 first pitch, 12:30 the coverage on SNY with Freddie Peralta on the mound against Miles Michaelis. Now for Daniel Murphy, Steve Gelbs, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen at Citi Field. After this break, it's Mercedes-Benz post-game live with Gary Apple and Jerry Blevins.